digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking opinion.
Well, goddamn, what's happening? Hope things are well in your world. Here we go. This is it. This is why we're all here. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Episode number 346 and counting. Good to see everybody. Brian Matson, what's up? Hey, Gina out in Jersey, good to see you. What's going on? Brenda, Jay Banks. Wow. They're coming out of the woodwork for this one. One of your Jersey pals is on today. You know? Good. Glad to see yous. It's a yous. So, hey. Rainialo? Am I pronouncing that right? Rainialo? Wow. Sawdust Sally. What's happening? Good. I'm excited. I hope that you are too. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by the Texas Silver Rush, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, and Mad Vintage. Let's get down to brass tacks here, kids. What you got there?
What's up?
Is that Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos?
And his Howling Commandos, yes. I've been bagging my stuff up, getting everything nice. And I thought of you when I saw that one.
You know, I love those old Marvel Silver Age comics, you know?
Well, you were kind of the Sergeant Fury, and we're the Howling Commandos, so.
I showed you that shot of me and Mark Levine when we were kids at the comic book convention, right?
Oh, yeah, but that's definitely worth sharing.
Did I do that on the show? Did I show you that on the show?
No, I don't think you did.
All right, let me see.
I don't think you did, but I think that's a must.
For those out there that know my oldest and one of my best friends, Mark Levine, he comes to a lot of the hardcore shows. Here's a shot of me and Mark Levine in 1976 when they used to have the comic book conventions, I think at the Diplomat Hotel. You know, here we are in 1976, me and Mark Levine. Yep. So
I see a Hulk versus Submariner there.
Marvel superheroes, Hulk. Yep, I see that too. Yep. I think this was my table. I think I was selling shit. I don't know.
Should have kept it.
Nah. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing. Speaking of which, I want to shout out Nick Friesen for the comic book that he sent me, the set list one.
Oh, cool.
And I want to thank Vinny C of Ironclad, who sent me up in Canada, who sent me this incredible pack of all these graffiti stickers.
Oh, that's cool.
Good looking out, Vinny C. Thank you. Yep. And Nick for sending me the set list comic book. So people send me shit. Listen, if you want to send me shit, I'm not going to dissuade you. If you send me your band shirt, I will wear it on the show at least once. So there you go. You know?
Nice.
So if anybody, you know, how old was I in that photo? I was like 12 or 13, something like that. Yep. Is that right? Is that right, Debo? The Classic Illustrator, like $50 a piece now? Wow. Hey, happy birthday,
Scott Earth.
Scott Earth. Happy birthday, you bum.
Happy Earth Day, birthday.
Happy Earth Day, birthday. You know?
Nice.
Scott Earth will be, if you're wondering what Scott Earth will be joining us at the Holiday Slamboree.
Yes.
He is doing a song with us with the My War Project. Look out for Scott Earth to get up there, and I hear he's doing a Cro-Mag song. So there you go.
That's going to be a blast of a day, I got to tell you.
Yep. Happy Scott Earth birthday.
Hmm.
And somebody told me he posted like some sappy like Instagram message, like, I just want everybody to be nice to each other. Is that right? Did he do that? Is that what you said? You told me he did some like wussy ass.
No,
right?
I don't believe that's what I said. It was actually a very positive message.
You positive. Oh, you're positive now. Is that right, Scott Earth? You're positive guy now. I'm the positive guy. All right, bro. All right. What is the My War Project?
We can't control him,
Scott. The My War Project is happening at the Holiday Slamboree. It's members of Incendiary Device, the High and the Mighty, the Car Bomb Parade, and Neck Scars. We are doing selections from the Great American Hardcore Songbook with many guest singers, including Scott Earth, Pete Stahl from Scream, Ryan Bland from Ache, so on and so forth. It's going to be great. We're rehearsing tomorrow. It's like a punk rock karaoke kind of thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's what the My War thing is. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And it won't be positive.
Is that right? Be nice to each other for one day. Okay.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Bill. This is
being nice.
This is coming from the guy who says, tell your loved ones that you love them and do good things, and good things will come to you.
That's true. Right? That's true.
Speaking of which, speaking
of doing good, nice things today, we got something special.
Let's bring. It's time to welcome a new face to the show. You in and around the New York music and hardcore scene, taking photographs these past couple of years. Please welcome Dave "Face" Boccio. What's up?
Hello, guys.
Boccio.
How you doing?
Boccio. I'm sorry. I spelled it out phonetically, and I still fucked it up.
I still do that myself. My own family does that too.
Hey, man, let's talk about your photos.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And for those like hey Rich Zola, what's up? So for let's talk about your photos, and I pulled a couple that I really like, and let's start with this here.
Perfect.
What is quickly, hey, you know what? I like this photo, and it's not just because I'm in the right hand. I just see myself in the right hand in the photo. That's not just the only. But tell us about quickly how you got into photography and what your general approach is.
Well, I got into photography when I was living in Florida. I lived there for like 4 years, and I was talking to some of my friends back home in New York. They didn't believe that I had like alligators in my backyard. So I bought a camera and just started shooting them, and then became like obsessed with that. But then I moved back to New York, hit the streets, and street photography was it for me. Like that was like a game changer in my life. So I was just like, I did that for quite some time. And it wasn't until I met this guy, John, who was in a band called Dead Empires. And he was like, hey, you want to shoot our band at House of Yes in Brooklyn? So I was like, yeah, totally. He was under the impression that I've shot bands because I've been in the hardcore scene for a very long time, since I was like 14. I shot the show at House of Yes. I was so nervous because I was like, I never did this before, but I studied. I did my thing. They loved it. Then Phil from RBNX had a Punk Island show coming up. So he asked me to shoot that as well. And from then I was pretty much hooked. And I've been like with Phil and RBNX since then.
Speaking of you and RBNX, here is from your archive one that caught my eye. I like this one.
Yes. This is one of our favorites. Do you recognize that dinosaur? Not Phil, the dinosaur.
Is that south of the border?
No, what is that, San Bernardino? It was like somewhere in California, but that's the dinosaur from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we made a point to get there and do a little photo shoot there. We have shots from inside the dinosaur and everything. That was a great tour. We had so much fun on that.
Cabazon dinosaurs.
Very
Cabazon
cool.
dinosaurs.
One thing that I really like about your shots, which is a little bit different than some of the other guys, is your really vibrant color composure. Give us a little perspective on why color, why so vibrant? How did you arrive sort of at this sort of look?
I started the vibrant colors when I was shooting with Canon cameras back probably about like 5 to 8 years ago, somewhere around there. Now I shoot Sony. I liked Canon's color palette, but I felt it was a little mute. So I would change the settings in there to be more vibrant, to stick out and just like pop, and then I have prints too that I do, and it pops out better on paper. Sometimes I'll print out on metal, and it really just pops. So
yeah, I
started getting really into color. A lot street stuff I shoot black and white, and certain bands depending on what they are.
But I mean, this is a beautiful shot. I love the colors, and I love the sky and the clouds, man.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. I think it's great.
Thank
and
you so much.
this is Punk Island. This is Car Bomb Parade.
Yeah, this was the last Punk Island. Yeah, Car Bomb played.
Yeah, and I spied Errorist in the background there as well.
Yeah, and I like sort of you got a bunch of these, and I think these are really great.
Oh yeah, that's Halo Bite. They're insane. They're so good.
Yeah.
Oof, they put on such a great show.
But is it what kind of lens are you using here?
I'm using, believe it or not, a very cheap fisheye. I started shooting fisheye when I was shooting skating. And I started bringing them to shows, and I went with the cheap ones because I would get a lot of boards to the face and breaking lenses like crazy. So spending like $900 on like a Canon or Sony fisheye was insane. So like a $200 fisheye, all manual. I shoot everything manual focus.
I love it,
manual
man.
Settings.
Love it. And here's another one with our good friend and contributor to the show. This is Chucky Brown, and this is Crazy Eddie.
Yeah, Crazy Eddie. They played with you guys up at Quinn's Pins in Middletown.
This is that show?
From the Quinn's Pin show. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was a fun night. I've been listening to Crazy Eddie for a while and never got to see them. So this was it was a big treat.
The green is really popping. That's beautiful.
What was that? Right. What was that other band? What did you mention their name? The band before this? What band was that?
Oh, who was that? I don't even remember. At the Quinn's Pin show?
No, the one, but the photo before.
That was Halo Bite.
Halo Bite.
Halo Bite.
They're out of Albany?
Out of Albany.
They're out of Albany.
Hey, who's that? Your manager?
Pretty much. Yeah, he's my memory bank. Really.
So if Dave, what up?
Hey, there he is. Phil from RBN. All right. Are you his manager, bro?
I will fill in. Look. Okay. Look. You don't even know.
Don't even know.
Look. Who's who?
This is like Saddam Hussein had his double.
Right. We will find
my alibi.
We will find you, and we will try. We will put you on trial for war crimes. All right. So
you'll never take me alive.
Okay. Last but not least here, and I know this has to be one of our shows because that's our back line, right?
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
And that, tell us who that is.
Ramsey Jones from Rebelmatic.
Yep, that's Ramsey Jones. And
for those,
he just had a birthday.
Yep.
I believe he's playing.
And for those that may
right now,
for those who may not know, Ramsey Jones, the drummer for Rebelmatic, is Old Dirty Bastard from Woo. God rest his soul. That's his brother. His brother. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. So there's a strong Rebelmatic Wu-Tang connection,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, great stuff. So that said, Dave, what does the future hold moving forward? What are you looking forward to shooting, doing?
I'm always shooting, whether it's street, whether it's bands. I'm pretty booked right now between like RBNX, Abuse Ritual, Trouble Bound, Servant of Sorrow. Those are all like Hudson Valley bands. They're all like the homies. So we're all building the scene together. Hudson Valley is such a great scene right now, whether it's bands, even like the fans that come out. Our pits are insane. We have this girl Chloe who she rages in the pit. Same with Isa. We got Sick Bay. There's so many good bands up here right now. And
yeah, we got to get up there. We got to get up there and play your place, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to come to an Outsider show. I shoot for Outsider Magazine. They're doing such great things. We're looking to put together a book because we had the venue for a year. So we're doing like a year kind of like retrospective of what, everything that went down with little blurbs and all that. So we're looking to have that out by January.
You know, it's a strong possibility that Incendiary Device could play up there because technically it is New York.
It is New York.
Of course, I play in the band that, you know, cannot play outside of New York.
Outside the subway line, right?
Yeah, it's traumatic. It's traumatic. So, but I could probably convince them. I'd be like, yo, it's New York still. It's New York.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Don't worry, it'll be okay. Don't worry, it'll be okay. You can bring your girlfriend or your wife, and I have baby wipes in the car. We can play outside the New York City area. You'll be okay.
It's not that bad up here. It really isn't. You'll be safe.
All right, Dave. Thanks, man. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Oh man, everyone in the Hudson Valley scene. It's a great scene. Like I said, Sick Bay, Abuse Ritual, RBNX, obviously. They're my family, you know, the great people. Holly from Outsider and the whole crew, Kazooie Louie, Lindsay, Johnny No Keys. Oh my God, Car Bomb Parade. Those guys are amazing. Nikki, I love that dude. Such good people, man.
Excuse me, was that Kazooie Louie?
Yeah, he's our DJ at the venue. He has like a great mix of music, and he actually will do like sets playing on a kazoo. It's crazy, and he's good.
I'm with a name like Kazooie Louie. I'm inherently interested in interacting with. You know,
yeah, it's awesome. We have such good people up here.
Kazooie Louie, Phone of the Grona, Donna Do You Wanna, like these are like all people I grew up with, you know?
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Dave. We'll talk to you
so much,
man.
Stu. Even good seeing you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Keep on keeping on, brother.
You as well. Thank you.
All right. That was
Can't beat that guy right there.
Yeah, no, listen, you know, it's nice to bring some new faces on and give
some
shine. So let me keep it moving here. Let's bring our guest on. I'll talk to you soon, bro. There you have it. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by the Texas Silver Rush, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, Mad Vintage, and 126 Hardcore Clothing. They're a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials, collaborated with the large number of designs and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them and ramp up your game at www.126clothing.com. That said, let's clear the deck. What the heck? And let's bring our guest on. Here we go, yo. Today's guest is a guitarist, songwriter, and former Spartan racer hailing from the Garden State of New Jersey. He was part of the embryonic New York hardcore scene in the 1980s and is known for his work with the bands Cause for Alarm and Agnostic Front. Please welcome, coming at us from Beach Haven, West New Jersey, our old friend, Mr. Alex Kinon. Hey, man.
Hey, greetings.
Greetings. How's things in Beach Haven?
Things are well. Things are sunny. Things are coastal. Things are nice.
I see you with your coastal life. Do you have a boat?
Absolutely. I have a wakeboard boat. I was into wakeboarding for about 10 or 12 years. If you know what wakeboarding is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was really into that. Put on New Jersey Wake Fest for like 5 years.
Wow.
Out of Bordentown, New Jersey, in the Delaware River. And it was just a real core part of my life for a good 10 or 12 years. But I still have the wakeboard boat. We use it right here in the bay.
Mm-hmm.
The wakeboarding days are pretty much past. But yeah, have the boat right here in the water, right in the backyard.
When the winter comes, do you have to physically get the boat out of the water, or can the boat sit in the water for the winter?
The boat could sit in the water, but it would probably ruin it. Right. Yeah, we have to pull it out, put it up on a trailer, and it's got a big 8-foot 8-foot, 8-cylinder engine, which has to be winterized. It's water cooled, so you got to drain all the water out. You fill it up with this is biologically friendly antifreeze, and you winterize it. It sits on the trailer in the front yard for the winter. And the springtime goes back in the water.
I didn't know such thing existed. Biologically friendly antifreeze.
Yes, it's not like the antifreeze that you can drink and be poisoned by. It's something that if it gets into the water, it's okay. Yeah.
Our friend and supporter Heg, what is a wakeboard boat? Is it what constitutes a wakeboard boat?
Okay. A wakeboard boat, you cross over the wake. You're riding on. It's like a snowboard on the water, and you cross over. And you hit that wake, and you want to jump the wake, get some air. Once in your air, you do a trick. You do some sort of trick, and you fall down, and you land the other side.
But what when you say what's a wakeboard boat? Is it a special?
Yes, I'm getting to that. Yeah, I'm getting there.
Sorry.
So in order to get to the most air, you want a big wake. So there are boats that are specifically designed to produce a certain shape wake. Plus, they have internal ballast. So when I'm sitting in the water, I hit a button, and there's ballast tanks that fill up with water, and it sinks the boat down. So the deeper it sinks, the more water it displaces. The more water it displaces, the bigger the wake. The bigger the wake, the more fun you have. So yeah, it's a wakeboard specific boat. That's cool.
Very, very cool. Let's bounce the ball back and forth a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about music.
Go.
How did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? How did music come into your life?
Oh yeah, my father. Well, I was the youngest of 5, but my father, he always played records. He played a harmonica. He had a xylophone in the house. There was an accordion in the house. Growing up, there were always guitars in the house. My older siblings played guitars, so I was always surrounded by music. Like the first Led Zeppelin album, I remember my older siblings giving each other Zeppelin 2 one Christmas. So I was surrounded by Zeppelin 2, or my father's Johnny would play Johnny Cash or Eddie Arnold, or all kinds of different Broadway show albums. When my oldest brother came home from the Army, he brought like Jimi Hendrix and Pink Floyd. And this is the things I was raised on. I heard this music growing up all my life. So I was surrounded by music my entire life growing up. And guitars.
So you had older brothers and older sisters?
Yes, I'm the youngest of 5.
Wow.
With my oldest brother being about 17 years older than me.
So when you said, so I'm assuming when you said when your brother came back from the war, your brother's in Vietnam.
He was in during the Vietnam War, but he was in Germany. He didn't see any active fighting.
Good.
Yep.
Gotcha. So basically, like myself, kind of grew up around the classic rock stuff, and that was in your peripheral. What was the first live music that you saw?
Well, it was probably my brother Steve's bands in the basement. He beat my brother as a guitar player, so there'd be bands practicing in the basement. So I would see his band playing down there. That was live music. Or maybe going to see his band play somewhere, some high school or church or somewhere. I remember the first concert I saw was, I think it was about 12. Allman Brothers, Marshall Tucker Band and Allman Brothers in Jersey City at Roosevelt Stadium.
Wow. Yeah,
that was my first concert ever.
Wow, Roosevelt. That's a hard Jersey card to pull. Roosevelt Stadium. That's
it was a long time ago. That's long gone, I believe.
Oh yeah. But that was a great venue. I think Roosevelt Stadium was that a minor league ballpark or something? It was a ratty old place. I never saw a show there.
Yeah, it was an old dirty place. So we went with my friend's older brother and sister. They drove us there. It was a dirty old place, from what I remember. It was cool. Good memory.
Absolutely. What inspired you to pick up guitar?
Again, it was in my family. There was just the guitars laying there. My brother Steve could play guitar. My sister Cheryl could play guitar. They'd sing and play songs together. And I, young sibling, I just imitated what I heard, played what was around me.
And I have a shot here. Let me find it. Here it is. Was your first band, was it the Radicals?
That's pretty cool. Well, yeah, I guess so. I think the first band I was in was called Lightning. Never played a live show. Never really had a set together. But yeah, the Radicals. That was the first band that we actually put together. First, we were doing cover songs: Clash, Sex Pistols, Ramones.
Right.
And then, in looking at the picture of the guy all the way to the left, Gary Reitmeyer, R.I.P., he was like, yeah, playing Clash City Rocker, it doesn't mean anything to me. Janie Jones, it doesn't mean anything to me. You know, we got to play our own stuff.
Oh, right on.
And he was right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We started writing original songs. And yeah, so that was us. That's in my parents' house. That picture is my parents' house in Fair Lawn, New Jersey at Christmas time. You can see the Christmas tree in the backyard. And I'm wearing a cream T-shirt, which I still have, which
I love. This looks like a really cool young punk band.
That's what it was. It's all what it was.
Yeah, and I got a couple. Here's another one, and it looks like you guys kind of had a little set of who's in someone's basement, like, right?
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's in Glenn, the drummer. That's Glenn's drummer's father's basement in Saddlebrook, New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's where we rehearse. That was our rehearsal space.
This is a great question. Triv 108 asks, was the Guild Starfire a family instrument?
No, I still have that guitar, but it was my mother worked at Stearns in Paramus in the office doing something or other, and some office woman, one of her, women coworkers, said, "Oh, I have a guitar. My daughter would play it, but she doesn't play it anymore. Do you want to buy it?" So my mother bought that guitar with a little Fender. It wasn't a twin reverb, it was a single reverb, and for like $400, and that's where that came from. So there wasn't a family heirloom. It just came from some woman at work where my mother worked. I played the hell out of it. I still have it.
And here it is,
cool
right?
Too. That's at a place called it's in Garfield. It was called the King of Hearts. Then it was called Club Mod, and we call it Club Mold. And that's my friend Pete right out in front, my good friend Pete. And again, that's Glenn on drums. Yeah, that's the Radicals.
Look at the bot on that kid, huh? With that tattoo and everything, huh?
Yeah, that was a different time. Surely was.
That's great. John Angeli says, "Hey Drew, please tell Alex I say hello. I still remember his annual Memorial Day barbecues in his backyard." Oh yeah, those are some big. I just set up a stage in the backyard, and we'd have. Then the band would play on the stage until the cops came. Anyway, yeah, I had several barbecues back in the day, and I remember John being there. What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to have you checking in. Laura Island says Club Mod. I love the PA system of Club Mod on the upper left. That's funny, but I think there was a better one than that. I don't know what that is. Yeah, some speaker, but yeah, there was an actual PA system there. Yeah, that guitar is legend. That guitar is legendary, man. Yeah, I still have it. I played that so much, like I wore the finish off the back with my thumb, which is kind of cool. Wait, one last one. Wow, this one last one here from this looks like a different band. What's going on here? This? I think this predates that. What's going on here? Oh. Holy hell! Look at that picture of me. I don't know where the hell you found that picture. Yeah, that was a band called. Yeah, that was Mantis, but that was one single day. My friend Pete, right? He said, "Hey, want to come play with my friend's band or something?" It was like Hohokus, New Jersey, in somebody's basement, and I set up and played with him for one day. That was it. That was one and done. Never played with those guys again. And all you and any of you guitar people out there, take a look at the Marshall head and cabinet. I've never seen a Marshall cabinet like that. Yeah, that was like a cream-colored Marshall head, which was something special. Yeah, and the big I don't know much of the tall cabinet too. I've never. That's like a Marshall, like what is that? Like a 812 Marshall cabinet. That's wild. Yes, what it looks like. Yeah. Is that right, Triv? A fawn head? Is that what that's called? I'm not familiar with that gear. Yeah. Listen,
I don't know where you pulled that picture out of. That's
yo,
crazy.
the stuff just comes to me, bro. So that said, obviously, you're getting into the punk stuff. You went to Fair Lawn High School, right?
Fair Lawn High School, yes.
And so I'm sort of, is that when you started sort of connecting with maybe some future New York hardcore denizens? Like how did that come to? How did you end up like in the Lower East Side and with the hardcore thing?
Okay, I started listening to punk rock music on my own. None of my friends really did. And I was playing guitar by myself. And that guy, Pete, the bass player of the Radicals, he said he wanted to play. He wanted to play together. I said, okay, we'll play together, but you're going to play what I teach you to play. So I taught him a bunch of Clash songs and a bunch of Sex Pistols songs. That's what we jam out on. And then I think he ran into a drummer somewhere. And we started playing with the drummer. I forget his name, Joe, I think. And we called ourselves the Radicals. Mm-hmm. But he really wasn't. He held a beat, but he really wasn't playing the music the way we wanted to. And then I think Pete ran to someone else, Gary. He ran to Gary at a music store, Sam Ash or something, and he had like some Clash button or something. And they started talking about punk rock, so we started playing with Gary. We were Gary into the band. Gary said, "Hey, I know a drummer. His name is Glenn," and that's how the Radicals came about. And once, I guess, at some point or another, we started looking to New York City. I'm not sure why. That's where we had to go to see it. We'd go to CBGB. We'd go to A7. It's just, New Jersey kids in the background, just watching. First you just watch from the background. And I remember, right there. I remember coming out of A7 one night, and sitting right there in the corner by the park, there was a guy playing guitar with a little practice amp. I think it might have been the guy from Rapid Deployment. I'm thinking to myself, I could play guitar better than that guy. How can I get that guitar? How can I get that guitar in my hand? And then just went up to him and watched him for a while, and somehow I did. I got the guitar and I started playing. I started playing Sex Pistols. I started playing Clash, and at the time, Billy Milano and Rob Kabula were watching. I didn't know those. I don't think I knew those guys, but they saw me and I said they were in a band at the time called Hinckley Fan Club.
Right.
And I said, hey, this guy could play. Maybe he should come play with us. So they asked me to play with them. So that's when I met Billy and Rob Kabula and became a member of Hinckley Fan Club.
I was always under the impression that sort of like you and Kabula and even Keith, Randy. I always under the impression that you guys kind of came from the same town, but I guess not.
Totally not.
Huh, interesting.
I think, Kabula, Rob Kabula and Billy Milano, they were from like Haworth or Norwood area.
Yeah. Randall was from Nutley, I think.
Yeah, Keith and Randy are from Nutley.
Yeah, right.
We're all from different places, but all sort of like the same crew, as you say. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So was this the origin of Cause for Alarm? How did that come together?
So Rob Kabula was playing guitar at Hinckley Fan Club, but once I came along, he moved over to bass, and I think whatever guitar player or bass player they had, they got rid of or something.
Right.
And I think I was already friends with Rob Crip Crash,
right,
who was who at the time I think was playing with Agnostic Front. And I think I said somehow I got him into the band. And my friend, a girl I knew from Ridgewood, Lisa, she came up with the name Cause for Alarm. She gave me the name Cause for Alarm to use. So I brought the name Cause for Alarm to the band. And everybody agreed on it. And how we got Keith in the band, I have no memory.
So this is in my extensive archive. This is sort of the earliest Cause for Alarm flyer I have, which is November 26th, 82. And like you said, it says ex Hinckley Fan Club Cause for Alarm.
Now Cause for Alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I have that one.
Yeah. And wasn't wasn't Doughboys? Who was in Doughboys? Was that Billy Milano or was that?
No, it was a bunch of guys that are like from, I think, Rockland County, New York.
Okay, for some reason I thought there was some overlap there. Yeah,
I actually played. Yeah, I played bass in the Doughboys for a short time. We played a show, I think, at like Rockland County High School.
Right.
There's one picture of me playing bass at that show floating around somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But they were a Rockland County band, I believe. That's
so
a cool flyer.
Yeah, so this is kind of the jump off here.
Yeah.
Any early sort of cause for alarm memories when it was kind of coming off the launch pad and early on?
Well, definitely at that time, Billy Milano was a singer of Cause for Alarm, I guess, for that show. So Billy was how Billy was no longer in the band. I'm going to say that carefully. How Billy was no longer in the band and Keith came into the band, I really have no recollection.
Right.
I don't know, but somewhere along that line that happened.
And things kind of get rolling. I mean, here's another. I mean, I always. Yeah, here we go. This is when Black Flag played Gildersleeves, and one night was AF and one night was Cause for Alarm.
I remember that show. Actually, I think it's a picture of me stage diving, like flying through the air from that show. Like
one of Randall's shots,
full body out, Superman.
Yeah,
someone's got a picture from that show, from one of those shows.
Yeah,
but I remember playing that show.
And I felt back then that in a lot of ways, because that Cause for Alarm. But before Agnostic Front was the People's Band, I think Cause for Alarm was the People's Band, because every fucking time I would go out, you guys would be playing. It seemed like you guys were constantly playing, and it was like real hometown cooking. Whenever there was a spot that needed to be filled, Cause for Alarm kind of stepped in there. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair to say to a degree, but I think Agnostic Front was right there. Agnostic Front and Cause for Alarm were like brother bands back then.
Yeah.
In the very beginning.
Sure.
That's why you see us both on the same flyer, taking road trips together.
Right.
We were there together. But yeah, we play anything.
Yeah,
we play anywhere.
This is a great shot.
That's great. In 1984, Las Vegas.
Wow. You know exactly where that's from, huh?
That's from that's Las Vegas. That was my toolbox in front of Rob's drum kit, so it wouldn't slide.
Oh yeah, that was the drum. That
held the bass, the kick drum in place. Yeah, my toolbox. It was full of tools.
Sure. That's great.
Yeah, still have that head, still have that amp, still have all that.
That's great. Let's talk a little bit about this iconic recording, which is early on. It was quite a challenge for a band, a New York hardcore band, to get something recorded. Any recollections on the recording process, where it was done, who was involved, and what it took to put something like this together?
Okay, first, that cover, that was drawn by Alex Morris, who was I think the original guitar player of Murphy's Law. And he was a great artist. He still is.
Uncle Al.
Uncle Al.
Yeah. Yep.
Great artist. He drew that. So that became the cover. That's really cool. How this record came along, at some point we decided, hey, we should make a record. Everybody's making records. Punk rock kids were just making punk rock records. We weren't trying to do anything special. Hey, let's just make a record. So there was a studio somewhere off Canal Street. It was downstairs. You ring the bell, a guy would come to the door. He'd bring it down an elevator in some little basement, and there'd be a little room in this basement where you'd play. And we went down there, and we took Jerry Williams with us, because we wanted Jerry Williams to do it, because he had done the Bad Brains cassette. And we thought that was great. So maybe the same magic could happen for us.
Was that High Rise? Was that High Rise Studio?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that could be.
I think it was. That's where Antidote recorded "Thou Shalt Not Kill." and a couple other, but yeah, Jerry Williams was the man.
The actual recording.
Yeah.
The recording, was that like on 45th Street or something? Was that High Rod?
Yeah. What were you talking about?
I was talking about the very initial sort of pre-production.
Oh, okay.
Where we went down to some basement studio and we brought Jerry Williams because we wanted him to just pre-production.
Sure.
And he listened to us. He said, "Yeah, you guys are ready." He said, "What impressed me most is you guys were in tune. Before you played, you try to be in tune together. A lot of bands aren't."
Impressive.
Yeah, to be in tune. So that's where it started, and we set up some time. We worked out an arrangement with him, some compensation, and High Rise Studios. That does sound sort of familiar. And
that's where Antidote recorded. Thou shalt. And here we go. The what I call let's call him the unsung hero of the early New York hardcore scene,
Jerry Williams.
And I love that photo because it sums it up, because he always had that spliff hanging out of his mouth, And
I remember he was in a band too. I can't remember his band. I remember playing.
He played in the Cigarettes. He played. Yeah, I
remember he had a song that was called like Dinosaur. Dino Dinosaur.
Right.
That's all I can remember.
Why do I think with the Nicotines? Anybody remember what Jerry Williams was? I think the Cigarettes. So Pat Baldwin's asking, was there ever any offer from Rat Cage or Big City to release the record?
Yeah, I think we went through Rat Cage. Was it David Rat Cage? I think David Rat Cage. He did it. We recorded it, and I think Dave Rat Cage put it out. One pressing. There was one pressing only.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cigarettes. That's right. That was his band. And then you had a 7-inch out, which was like pretty amazing back then. And I love the way that 7-inch sounds. It brings back a lot of memories. To me, that 7-inch, it reminds me of like when you'd walk into CBGB's for a matinee, and at the very end in this cave, there'd be this dull thudding noise, and it would and I'd be like, "Who's on stage?" And it would always be Cause for Alarm.
That's funny.
That's a vivid memory I have of early matinees. When you walked in the door at CBGB's, and it was like, that like dull thudding, that
sure.
PA was, who's that?
Walk past the bar. You'd always walk up there, go through the crowd.
Yeah. This is an interesting one, and I think this is on some. I don't know if this is the one, but this the Central Park Rock Against Racism show, Cause for Alarm, Reagan Youth. I mean, this was. I wasn't at this show, but this looks like a pretty cool Stetasonic. This looks like a pretty cool bill.
This was cool. This was later on in the progression.
Right.
Cause for Alarm. By this point, Rob Kabula was an Agnostic Front, and the singer at the time was Zowie.
Oh wow!
Howard Ackerman.
That's right.
Yeah, and there are some pictures I have some pictures of just the like the negatives. They're really small, and then from behind, so you can see behind, like our backs, and they're really small. But I have some pictures from this day. But that was cool to be able to play in the Central Park Band Shell. That's a cool memory.
Yeah, Howard Ackerman.
Yeah, Howard Ackerman. Zowie.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, I miss him. We were friends. He sort of walked away from the whole thing, and kind of never. Yeah. We
were good friends back in the day.
Now I'm looking for here we go. So this. Oh, this is a good shot. But I'm assuming this is what this is. All right, we'll go with this. We'll go with this one here. So moving right along, Keith leaves the band, and was Zowie before Cherokee?
No.
This is a Cherokee shot, right?
Yes, that's Cherokee. Cause for Alarm was good friends with MDC and DRI. It's like 1983.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we? MDC. Who am I? DRI. Who are they? CFA. And it was decided in 1983 we're going to load up the van and move to California. We're going to move to We're going to take it on the road to San Francisco. This is original lineup, Cause for Alarm. We bought a van, old Hertz van, and we're going to go live in the vats in San Francisco.
Right.
And at some point between making that decision and the time we're going to actually push off, Keith's lyrics became more visible to Robbie Crip Crash, the drummer's wife, Michelle, and she didn't like the lyrics. And it was a Spinal Tap moment. It was the wife of a band member unhappy with another band member, and it caused a division, and it caused a breakup. It caused a breakup. So Keith was out, and we went to California anyway.
Right.
Looking for a singer. We found a guy who was in a band called Life Sentence from Chicago. We played with him for a while, but it didn't work out. But all of a sudden, Keith showed up, and Keith was back in the band. So there we are in California. We played a show at Cafe de Grand in Los Angeles. We might have played somewhere in San Francisco. I don't know. But time passes, and we came back, and we just needed another singer. Once we got back, that's when Rob Kabula left the band and went to Agnostic Front. We got a bass player named Joe from Queens, who was really good. There he is. That was taken, I think, in New Mexico, that picture. That was 1984. Yeah, so that's me all the way in the back. That's Chris Cheruki, rest in peace. That's Rob Crip Crash, and Joe. I call him Robert because his wife Michelle is from, his name is Rob Crip Crash, but his wife Michelle was from Brooklyn and had a real thick Brooklyn accent. So she would call him Robert, be like, Robert. So I'd call him Robert. And to this day, he calls me on my birthday every year, and I still call him Robert to this day.
I always thought that was sort of like the proper pronunciation, and like his like family given like proper was Robert. I thought that was his name.
No, Robert. That's how Michelle pronounced Robert.
Robert. That's funny.
That's where it came from.
That's funny. And this, I'm assuming that this is kind of on that West Coast run as well here.
No, that's actually.
Well, it says Jamaica Ave there, so maybe it looks New York. Yeah. Yeah,
that was our rehearsal space was 114 in Jamaica, Queens. 114 in Jamaica. See, right, that was a rehearsal space. If you look behind Robert, you can't really see it, but it's like these windows. And right outside the window was a J train. The J train ran right outside the window.
Nice.
That was just a rehearsal space. It was above a hardware store. The guy who rented us, he lived behind the other wall, and there was another wall where a guy lived. So he can only play till like 9 o'clock or something because they were right in there. But that was just our rehearsal space at the time. But look at that hair.
Yeah, you're winning with that hair, man.
Yeah, I had that hair. I was Robert Crip Crash. He went to a prep school. He went to school with Glenn Friedman.
That's right. Glenn, who was on our show previously, the episode before this, mentioned that when he was on the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Glenn at the time was a manager of Suicidal Tendencies in California.
Right.
So Glenn called me and said, "Hey, I want to do a very small East Coast tour for the band. Can we borrow your van?" I said, "Well, I'll just drive you guys around." He said, "Okay." So Suicidal came out to New York, and I drove them. And Cause for Alarm played with them at CBGB. I think they used the name Institutionalized, so the place wouldn't get crowded.
Sure.
And we played like 930 Club and City Gardens. So I drove them around to a few places. But during this time, they did a show at the Ritz, and I was sort of with Rocky, guitar player Rocky. I'm hanging on his side of the stage, and I had that hair. And he walked up to me and said, "Dude, you look like Billy Idol." And that was it. That's when I cut that hair off and stopped that blonde hair look right
That was
there.
that
Because
that
what's his name?
deaded it.
What's his name? Rocky.
Yeah.
Rocky something. I can't remember.
Rocky
that's
George.
why I cut that hair
Rocky
off.
George.
Rocky George. Yeah.
Yeah.
He walked up to me between songs and said, "You look like Billy Idol," and that was it. Cut the hair. Yeah.
We couldn't have that back
No.
then. No way. And this one here, I guess, back from the U.S. tour at CB's with Fang and Killdozer.
Yeah, that was. I have that show on VHS tape, actually.
Wow.
Billy Milano filmed it. Billy Milano
Wow.
set up in the where the light guy is. There was a little booth above the bar.
Yeah, a little bird's nest.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And he was up there with some big VHS camera back then, which had the actual tape in it. And he filmed that whole show. Yeah, it was a cool show. And Fang were cool. We knew those guys.
Yeah, I'm friends with those guys. Yeah, I think Rocky George is in I think he's in Fishbone now, right?
Something like that, yeah. Or he was.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Rocky George. Tell him what's up, Rocky. Yep. Absolutely. So sort of the hand plays out a little bit, and we're making our way towards you joining Agnostic Front and doing the Cause for Alarm record. What was the impetus to sort of make the transition from Cause for Alarm to Agnostic Front? How did that play out?
I think I always wanted to push Cause for Alarm further along than it was going, and I was always trying to make it. I think I was the cause of Cause for Alarm's eventual destruction, because I kept trying to make it better, and I was replacing members, just trying to make it stronger, and that really was not the way to go. It was the wrong thing to do, but that's what I think eventually finished off Cause for Alarm. And right about that time, I think Roger and Vinny, they approached me at some point or another and said, we probably need another guitar player. And Vinny was like, there's nobody else I'd rather play with in the band than you. You're the only guy. And I said, yeah. I said, it's kind of crazy, but never thought about it. But yeah, let's do it. And I was in the band. And right away, we started practicing in Brooklyn. We were practicing in Brooklyn in, not Typo Negative, Carnivore's rehearsal space.
Yeah, is that what was, I know the name of that.
It was just a shed. It was a shed in some guy's back. It was a guy's shed in his backyard.
Not Sty in the Eye, but there was a name for it. I can't remember. But go on. Yeah.
That's it. We were just that's how we met Louie.
Right.
Oh, it's because we were with Connie Barrett.
That's right.
Connie Barrett was connected with Combat Records, I guess, then.
Yep.
And that's who I think Carnivore was with. So that's
well, I think Connie Barrett was sort of managing Agnostic Front and kind of managing Carnivore perhaps at the same time.
Yeah. I think I have a picture of us signing contracts with Connie Barrett. Never posted it anywhere, but I have it. It's like a contract signing picture.
Right.
So that's where we got, because Agnostic Front didn't have a drummer. So Louie from Carnivore learned all the songs. So we practiced in their rehearsal space in Brooklyn. It was just a little shed.
Right.
A shed in some guy's backyard, no bathroom. You have to piss in a cup and then throw it out in the bushes if you had to piss. And that's all we had. Yeah, and eventually this album came along. That's where we created this whole entire album. Right there in that little shed.
I mean, who could have thought in their wildest dreams, right, that this record all these years later would be cited as such a crossover, iconic sort of record. This is looked upon as, this was like a watershed moment, when, you got chocolate in my peanut butter, you got peanut butter in my chocolate, kind of hardcore meets. What's that?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But we didn't know. We were just some 20-year-old kids just making some music, just what we were feeling at the time.
Yeah.
And
any perspective on the recording process, or better yet, how about the songwriting process?
The songwriting process all happened right there in that little shed in Brooklyn. We bring songs, we'd work them out, we'd add different parts. It all happened right there. It wasn't a whole, and actually for the most part, Roger wasn't there.
Wow.
Roger wasn't even there because Roger, I guess, lived in Florida. I don't know where he was, or he was in jail. Right. I'm really not sure where he was.
Right.
But for the most part, he wasn't there. No, wait. Sorry. I'm getting my.
No, he said. No,
he was. Sorry, he was there.
Right.
I'm thinking about something else. No, he was there the whole time, but he wasn't really singing that much. I think he was just like writing and thinking at the time. And most of it happened live right there in the studio. Someplace in Brooklyn, like Avenue U. It was really North Cortelio Avenue U was pretty far down in Brooklyn. And we were there.
Was Alex Parialis involved with this record?
No, it was it was the guy. He was like the CBGB's light man or sound man's brother. I can't remember his name. You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember his name. He was the light guy or the sound guy at CBGB, and he's the guy who was sitting there producing the record.
Count Ralphus asks, what did Alex think of the Pete Steele lyric contribution?
It was cool. I mean, it was spontaneous. It was on the spot. Pete Steele even does some like growling. On one of the songs, it's about pit bulls, or there's somewhere in one of the songs there's a dog.
Oh,
growling.
Norman Dunn. Norman
Dunn. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Norman.
Who came
Dunn.
up with that?
Yeah, Norman Dunn. Here it is, right there. Norman Dunn.
Yeah. He was the guy at the soundboard. Yeah, he wasn't the engineer, but he was like doing the mixing.
Sure.
Yes, and it was Norman Dunn.
And
Pete Steele did some of the lyrics, and he growled too. He was a growling dog on one of those songs. I forget which song it is.
Right. And Renelio asks, so did the music come first, then the lyrics?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it happened right then, live in the studio, unrehearsed.
And then let me see what else. Yeah. So you guys did the record, and if I remember correctly, there was like a couple shows, maybe 2 or 3, where you played guitar and Louis played. Was it like a CB show and a Jersey show? And then both you guys were gone. Am I recalling this correctly?
I know we played CBGB. We played CBGB. Yeah. I don't know if Lou was in the band or not.
He did. He did. He was on the show. He did like a CB show. I think he did 2. I think like a CB show, maybe a L'Amour show or something, and like that was it.
We did play at L'Amour. I remember the L'Amour show.
Yeah.
I remember I broke a string. And he was on the side of the stage, like, give me a guitar, I'll change the string. So if he was on the side of the stage, he could not have been behind the drums.
That makes sense.
We did a road trip to Canada. I think it was like a show in Toronto and Montreal. And that was it. I think that's all I really did with them.
Right.
I think the plan was really, I think, to go back on the road and start touring some more.
Right.
And I was at a point in my life where I didn't really want to get back into I was working, I was making money.
Yep.
Yeah. He was the drummer. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it was the lineup that went out on the road with Joey Montanaro, God rest his soul, on drums, and Gordon Ansis came in on lead guitar. This is the band that went out and toured on the Cause for Alarm album cycle.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yep. So which brings us to, why did you leave? What was going on? Was it college? Was it college time?
It wasn't college yet. That did eventually happen, but I think I was I was working full time, paying bills, had a truck, buying clothes. I just didn't want to get back in a van. I just want to quit everything and get back in a van with a bunch of guys and do that again. I'd already done that.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. You know, I didn't think it was ever going to be money making. It wasn't a career move. It was just some guys playing in a band. So I thought, for the sake of stability, again, what am I, my young 20s? I'm in my younger 20s making this decision. I just didn't want to. Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah, that was of course, this is, I mean, assuming this is probably a Cause for Alarm shot. But
yeah, it's close alarm. Yeah, that was at CBGB. There's more pictures from this show in color. I've seen some color pictures of this show.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was a cover that
Yeah.
wow, $30. Someone wants $30 for that. That's what it says.
Yeah. Oh, Bunny says I had that zine. All right. Well, it's worth at least $30 now, Bunny.
Yeah, there it is.
Rumor has it, you know.
He was really the photographer. He wanted a picture of the guitar.
Oh,
you know, he was like, I love that guitar. Let me get a shot of that. So that's why my hands are to my side, because I'm facing facing where the drums are. You know, it's facing out of the CB stage. Plus, I have a chain for a strap.
Yeah,
those are the days I was using a piece of chain for a guitar strap.
Yeah, it's a good look.
That eventually got stolen.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that said, let's take a quick sponsor break, couple minutes. Let me talk about some upcoming shows, and we'll come back and we'll keep running. I told you it goes fast.
It did go really fast.
We'll come back. Let's do. Let's take a break, and we'll see you back in a couple minutes, and we'll keep running at it.
Awesome.
Thanks. There you have it. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today from Agnostic Front and Cause for Alarm is Alex Kinon. We're going deep. We're getting weird. Thank you for tuning in. I want to mention a couple upcomings that are going down, a couple of episodes. There will not be, just so you know, there will not be a show a week from today because we are doing a free all ages matinee down at Berlin. This one's not at the Barry Electric. It's at Berlin with Kings Never Die. It is their record release show, 45 adapters. Get your boots on. Tree from Boston, Redwoods featuring Colton Schuler, Danny Schuler from Biohazard Son, and Neck Scars. That's 1 week from today at Berlin. It's free. Get the wife and the booger-eating kid and come on down. A week from Wednesday, we will be back here on the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live with the new music show with Mark Scandato of Shutdown and Sab Gray, formerly of Iron Cross, currently of Starcar. Sunday, November 17th, Steve Paul Carey, DC Hardcore Represent from Artificial Peace and Marginal Man. Sunday, November 25th, our old friend DMC from Run DMC will be on the show. We are all looking forward to that. And then the landmark, excuse me, it's not iconic yet. It's the landmark 350 episode. Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth will be on the show on Sunday, December 1st. Wednesday, December 11th, Carl Agell will be on the show from Corrosion of Conformity and Seizure. Brian from Metal Blade Records on December 15th. Renee Mata on December 18th. This was a good catch here. People are excited about this one. Got another Plasmatics member coming on the show. West Beach will be on the show on Sunday, December 29th. This is going to be announced on social media tomorrow. Matt Henson, oi, from Noise, will be on the show on Sunday, January 12th. And we also have to announce this week, Jimmy Ferrari. We had such a good time with Danny Boy from House of Pain talking about his Delta Bravo thing. Jimmy Ferrari is a big Delta Bravo urban exploration guy. I just actually went out with him yesterday in Central Park to show him a couple places that we shot music videos back in the day, like the Typo Negative Black #1 video and Samantha Fox. I want to have some fun. So we're going to do a show like a Delta Bravo show and kind of get into all that cool stuff. Want to remind you also that please, the show needs your support. There's a Patreon page, www.patreon.com/Drew Stone. It's the best way to support this show. I know there's a lot of lurkers out there, but please, if you watch the show and you enjoy the show, please find it in your heart to support the show. I want to shout out a couple new, Mini Kabula. Speaking of the Kabulas, Mini Fugget Kabula, Brandon Vince, and Joshua Hurst, a couple new patrons. Thank you. Thanks for supporting the show. Hey, we're also looking for a new sponsor for the show. Of course, we have the Texas Silver Rush. We have DTFM Vinyl Distro. We have Generation Records. We have 126 Hardcore Clothing and Mad Vintage. There is room on the boat for you. So please reach out if it's something you're interested in. We are looking. We are in the game, the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, for a new sponsor. So don't be shy. Let it fly. Reach out. That's right. I hope his nose is healing. I saw that Jimmy Ferrari got yoked with a guitar last night at the metal show. Hey, please, if you're watching the show, give it a thumbs up right now. Don't hesitate. Please give it a thumbs up so we can get in the what do you call it? The analytics, the wavelength. That said, also, if you're watching a rerun, there is a subscribe button right there. Please subscribe to the show. What else? Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Follow the show on Instagram. It's on the bottom there. Pick up your communication device. It's Stone Films NYC on the Instagram. You know it. You love it. It is the root of all evil in this world. Social media. So yes, the algorithm. Thank you, buddy. The algorithm. There you go. That said, let's clear the deck. Let's bring our guest back on. Let's clear everything. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Alex Kinon. Hey, man.
Greetings. Hello.
Greetings. Hey, I want to ask you about, in doing my homework, kind of came across this sort of credit. Did you do a little stint in Skinhead Youth?
Yes.
Tell us about this gem of a moment.
I think it was Skinhead Youth's very first lineup. It was me, Ray, Billy Psycho on drums,
wow,
and Todd Heap,
yes,
on bass. At the time that he was a young kid, his name was Heap.
Yeah,
later to be Todd Youth.
That's what we called him. Heap was
Heap.
His nickname. Yeah.
And we practiced. There's even some pictures of a rehearsal space of some practices. And we did one show at CBGB, of which there's a tape floating around somewhere. One of those CBGB soundboard tapes.
Yep.
Yeah. So one show at Skinhead Youth.
Sound great. Yeah. This is a legit question. We'll address this. Was it weird going from Cause for Alarm to recording an album with the same name, an Agnostic Front?
No, we were sitting there. It was during a break in recording in the studio in Brooklyn, and we're just discussing what we're going to call it. And somehow that name came up, because it's probably because I was in the band. Even though Rob was in Cause for Alarm earlier, I don't think they would have called it Cause for Alarm. But because I was there, it made it okay. And then we just came up with that name.
And Roger, excuse me, go ahead.
Okay.
Roger was just on the show, and he basically said, when addressing that record, he just loved Cause for Alarm so much. He loved the band so much. So once you were in the band, he felt like let's call the record Cause for Alarm.
That could be, that was his perspective, and that sounds good to me.
Yeah. Joseph says Cause for Alarm should have done an album called Agnostic Front. So that said, so the Agnostic Front hand plays out, and you kind of away from it for a minute to do other things. What did you go to Columbia? Were you did you study political science?
I went to Columbia University, Ivy League school.
Yeah.
Poli-sci major, psychology minor. I was going to be an attorney.
Right. Wow.
But I graduated, and I took a job with a wholesale distributor of automotive pickup truck accessories. I was an operations manager, and the responsibilities were many, and the returns were attractive. And I was able to buy things and establish myself. And I just lost focus of my original plan. And I never got back to going to law school. So it didn't happen. Never became an attorney as I planned. But I did graduate from Columbia University. So I have a Ivy League bachelor's Bachelor's degree.
Basically, life took over.
Yeah, things happen.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. And at what point you returned to Cause for Alarm at a certain point, and I know you did that split 7-inch, which I listened to, which is friggin' ripping. And why did things come full circle? How did you kind of get back into it?
I guess probably got a phone call from Keith. It must have been Keith. Say, hey, let's try this again. So we did. That was it. That it's a pretty good album. I'm not really happy with the mix. I wasn't there for the final mix. And I listened to it, and a lot of the lead guitar work is just buried. I can't even hear it. So some of it I like, but if I listen to it, I start getting pissed off.
Is that right?
Because I just don't like the final mix.
Interesting, because I listened to it a couple of times, getting ready for the show, and it fucking rips, man. It really that fucking your songs on that thing rip.
Yeah, there's some good shit on here.
Yeah, there is.
But yeah, again, the final mix I just don't like. I like the sound of it.
And I must say, you are a great lead player, man. The stuff you did on the AF Cause for Alarm record, and on that, you're a great lead player, man.
Well, I say thank you to that. I say thank you humbly.
Yeah.
But my influences were. It's not the new style of playing. It's not the Van Halen style. It's more of Hendrix, Alvin Lee, Ted Nugent, Ace Frehley, Jimmy Page. It's the older style of playing, because that's what I learned. That's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that picture was taken.
That looks CB's. It's CB's.
Could be.
It's
so we tried it again, and I think it was again the same thing. I didn't want to go on tour. It was a good hobby.
Yeah,
but I didn't want to put everything into a band. I think that's where Keith wanted to go. He wanted to make more records. He wanted to go to Europe. Cool.
This is the Ritz. This is the Ritz in New York City.
I don't even know that picture. That's cool. That was the one and only time I got to play the Ritz.
Yeah. And that guitar you're playing there, is that a BC Rich? Is that a Warlock?
Yeah, BC Rich Warlock.
Right.
I gave up the Guild for that. I just wanted something a little more advanced. It was okay. Yeah. I still have it. I have 2 of them.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's right across the room, actually.
You're one of these guys that's kind of held on to everything, man.
Yeah, until Brian came along and took an interest in it.
Yeah, so let me address that. Hold on, I got a good picture. So we've had Brian on the show, and for those out there that may not know what we're talking about, Brian is the man behind Ancient Artifacts. He's like a real intense collector and acquirer of this stuff that has become kind of important historical stuff. And
he's an archivist.
Thank you. He's an archivist. And I went to this. I went not to this event, but I went to an event in Brooklyn, and one of the great things about what they did is they had this, and if you could tell us kind of what this is.
I saved everything over the years, and which included all these Cause for Alarm silk screens.
Right.
Actually, those silk screens were our bread and butter on tour.
Sure.
We were just making enough money to get from stop to stop, a little bit of food money, and selling T-shirts really supported us a lot. And we'd run out. We carried the screens and the ink and in a little table, and we get to a city. We'd find where people were selling white T-shirts. We'd buy a few dozen. We'd print them up in the house we were staying at, the backyard, and put them in the dryer, and we'd sell them at the next couple of shows. So I saved all the silk screens, and as Brian, the archivist, had an interest in many different historical punk rock, hardcore artifacts, there were some screens. and he took those two. So those are now in his attic. And for his book release, he brought them out and had people printing free shirts.
Yeah,
who's
and
that guy sitting there?
This was the event in Brooklyn at TVI. There's Brian on the left, Paul Bearer from Sheer Terror's next to him, Johnny Waste, Jack Rabbit, the drummer for Even Worse, and you. It was a nice event.
Yeah, that was a cool little venue too. I had no idea about that place.
It's Brooklyn, man. It's all going to, it's Brooklyn. So, but here's another shot. Was it difficult to sort of part with this stuff?
No.
That's the spirit.
Well, yes and no. The records, we did a piecemeal. Like the first time we got together, it was a bunch of flyers. We picked through flyers, fanzines, fan mail. I had a box of like just all this kinds of mail from all kinds of people, and it was just literature and correspondence for the first visit. And then the second visit, which I think he even brought a film crew. There was a film crew from Cream magazine. They were gonna do some filming. Is when we went through the records, and I had already beforehand I'd picked through the records. So all the 7-inch there was piles that I could let go. There was some maybe I couldn't let go, but then there was another pile that I could not let go.
Just couldn't do it.
Couldn't, like the old Coastal Alarm, all the Urban Waste, all the New York stuff. Old Black Flag, the old Circle Jerks, Meat Men, a lot of the stuff that was important to me. So I still have a lot of stuff. I couldn't let go of everything, but he got a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
No problem.
And yeah, I mean, personally, I feel with a lot of the stuff, it makes me happy when it ends up in the hands of just somebody who's passionate about it and who's going to appreciate it.
I agree with that.
I don't feel the need to have this stuff. It makes me feel good when somebody who's going to cherish it has it. That's just how I feel.
I agree with that. It wasn't about the compensation. Other people have approached me prior to that.
Right.
But he talked a good game and he was sincere. It took a few conversations for him to break through because I get contacted by people, I won't say all the time, but with a regular stream of people want to talk or interview or buy old things. But he got through from recommendations of other people, and he was sincere. It was really cool. It turned out he grew up like right down the street from my sister. So my sister actually babysat him when he was little.
No shit.
It was a cool connection that we came up with.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And Heg says, hardcore in 5 words, undiagnosed mental disorders and merch.
That's funny.
Pretty
that's
much.
The sweetest plum. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the case. But yeah, he's brought that stuff to the forefront, and he's doing the rounds. I try to steer people to him now. I said, listen, what are you doing with all that stuff? Talk to this guy. Move it down the line. What's the point if it's sitting in a box? No one's ever, so.
Just about all the stuff he took was sitting in a box for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really not going to miss it. I knew I had it, but I'm not going to miss it.
Someone just sent me this photo. This is kind of a great one. And here you are wearing your infamous Negative Approach shirt.
I am wearing that shirt in so many pictures in those days. So many pictures. I'm wearing that dopey shirt. I still have that shirt too.
Yeah.
Don't have those shoes.
Yeah, I think this is one of Randy's shots because I see a Vinny Stigma in front of you, and I think the red, white, and blue shirt on the foreground. I think it's Roger.
Yeah, I think that's Roger's arm with the stripes, stars and stripes, and Vinny's head in the background.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, that's a classic.
And that's Kabula with you.
Yep, and he's holding his dog.
Yeah. 1983. Thank you, Astoria Lou. Astoria Lou sent it to me. So
yeah, it's probably 83.
Yeah, and Stephen Yu on the left there.
Yep, absolutely.
That's right. Stephen Yu from Death Before Dishonor. Yeah. And you know what? And I'm just kind of picking through kind of the stuff here. But just for the uninitiated, what exactly was Apartment X?
That was Keith. Close for alarm. Keith found some apartment. It was on Norfolk Street, like Norfolk and Houston, right pretty much on the corner. And it was this little basement apartment. You went in, walked down a hall. There was a door. You went down the stairs. It was just basement. That I guess the building owner put up some walls. There was sort of a bathroom, sort of like a shower stall, and down the end of the hall. So, okay, so that's me. That's Ray. That's Lazar. Rest in peace. I'm pretty sure that's Vinny Stigma right there.
Yeah, it looks like
Billy
Vinny,
Milano's head. It's hard to tell.
With the scar on
right
it.
behind Billy and right behind Vinny. That's where the door to come in was.
Right.
But in the background of that shot was like a closet.
Speaking of which, look who just showed up. Keith Burkhart. What's up, Big Al? So
what's up, Keith?
Hey, Keith. I was hoping you were going to show up, Keith. Nice to see you, and I hope everything's well with you and your family.
Yes.
So yeah, fantastic. And just as we're talking about your apartment, which sounds to me like a total fire trap, you know.
Yeah, Keith established Apartment X, and the background of that picture was just a closet. But at some point or another, Ray Bees found his way there and turned the closet into his room. It was just sort of a kind of a bed mattress or something in there. That's all. It wasn't even a room. There was no door. But that's what's in the background is Ray Bees' room.
That's very kind of you, Keith. He says Al was one of the most sincerest, dedicated guys on the scene at the time. That's nice.
I can't argue with that, but I thank you for your kind words, my brother Keith.
And I'm just poking through a couple of the old pictures here because I think there's an inherent historical value to this stuff. But this is a Randall Underwood shot of I think this is, if I remember, I think this is might be Gildersleeves, I think, you know. So, but this is early on in the Cause for Alarm game, and then here's another one. This looks like a bigger show. Could this be Irving Plaza or something? Or what do you think this is? This looks like an Irving Plaza show or something. Big place.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That guy looks like me though.
Yeah. Well, that is you.
I'm not even familiar with that picture. I don't know where that is.
Yeah. So there you go. Let me see if I got. So let's talk about, you know, a couple years go by, and then this happens, which actually is, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this for the intro of the next thing. Then this happens. So how did this come about? And what is this?
This is Agnostic Front, Cause for Alarm lineup in Brooklyn. I think the place was called The Well. It was an outdoor venue in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was. It was The Well. Yeah.
At some point, I guess Roger contacted me and asked. I think it was the Cause for Alarm album, maybe 25th anniversary.
Right.
And I think I heard from Roger asking if I'd be interested in, hey, get the band back together for a couple of shows. It sounded pretty good. Sounded like a good idea.
And just from what I know about, and I was there, but just from what I know about you know, all you guys individually and how it went down. You guys sort of rehearsed on your own for a while, right? Kind of like got your chops back together. I'm assuming at Kabula's place in Clifton, right? And then Roger kind of stepped into it, right?
The first rehearsal was like in Rahway, someplace in Rahway,
right?
And you know, half the songs I barely remembered.
Really?
It was like, what? I mean, it was 25 years. I hadn't really worked on the stuff.
Sure.
But it came back pretty quick. That was the first rehearsal. Then everything else was in Clifton somewhere, and it was just the four of us. And
you just kind of like you just go ahead.
We just rehearsed without Roger the whole time.
You watershedded. You woodshedded. Excuse me.
Yeah. That was the space right there.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great memories.
And then, I mean, and it was really fantastic. I mean, you guys played, you know, 2 nights in a row. The first night was good. The second night, you guys were great. I gotta say, I saw both sets. You know.
Thank you. It was good.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
That was my last time on stage.
Yeah. Wow.
Cool.
And that was 10 years ago now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And what is this? I'm thrown off by the color. Is this the same? Is this the BC Rich, the same one?
Yes. Is that the same place? Yeah, it must be. Yeah, that's the same BC Rich. Yeah, it's kind of
yeah. That's the well. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That was the first night, I think. Yeah, that was the first night. I could tell by my strap. I could tell by my guitar strap.
Right. And let me see. Yeah, here's another one.
I never saw that picture before.
I know. I'm not sure where these came from. Here's another one. Yeah. And look, you know, you gotta love Louis Beto with the Cause for Alarm Agnostic Front drum heads that he made.
Yeah, and I think he raffled those off or something at the end.
I actually have a shot of me and him when I interviewed him. Let me see. Stone. Here it is. Yeah, get a load of this. It's all at your fingertips. Boom. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. I interviewed him. For, I think, the New York Hardcore Chronicles film, and at his place when he was still living up here in Jersey.
Right, in Brick. I think it was in Brick
before he moved. Yeah, that's right. And he had those. I guess it was right before you guys did it. I think right before you guys did those shows. A little bit before that, but so. And here's one last shot from that night. This is a black and white one. There you go. Yeah, it was a great venue. It was that was a great place. It was
really cool.
Yeah, and they only did. I guess they were one and done over there. The well was a little freaked out by sort of the clientele, I think, you know. So, yeah.
It's great. I've never seen these pictures. It's great.
Yeah, it's actually this Stephen Messina. It's a Stephen Messina picture. It says on the bottom. Yep. A Stephen Messina shot. So that said, that was the last time you were on stage 10 years ago?
Yes.
Do you ever get the itch? You seem, you know, okay with kind of stepping into it every decade or so. Do you ever feel like I want to play again, or?
Of course, you know, it never goes away.
Yeah.
But, you know, the older you get, it's hard to, it's hard to be in your 60s and still singing "Fuck Ronald Reagan."
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't. I'd love to be on stage again. I'd love to do it again, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it ever happened.
Okay.
You know,
I like that. That's good. We like that. Laura, you think that's funny, Laura? Laura Zeitlin's like, "Hiya, okay, all right." That said, you know what I want to ask you about? What is going on? What is going on? Yeah. What is this all about?
yeah, Spartan race. That was actually my very first Spartan race. That's 2012, Tuxedo Ridge, New York. I was really into that for like 8 years. You know, that's when I was 50. It was climbing up hills, going under barbed wire. I was really into like fitness at the time, CrossFit. Uh, it was just endurance. There was like these painful endurance races at 3 different levels. They were mostly held at ski resorts in the summertime. So you'd be fighting gravity, just going uphill, going up these monster hills, Killington, Vermont, or Palmerton, Pennsylvania, or climbing over walls, climbing over fences, carrying buckets of rocks. I looked very happy there. And I plan to do it. I did my first one at 50. I plan to do it for 10 years, to do it to 60. But then 2020, which would have been my 8th year or 9th year, I think.
Sure.
COVID came along and stopped it. Yeah, see, I'm holding a green medal. That means that was a beast. That was like a 15-miler.
Ooh.
Oh, and I was in West Virginia.
Now, when you say that COVID killed it, did COVID kill the Spartan race organization, or did it sort of kill your sort of enthusiasm for it?
Right. It killed. There were no Spartan races that year.
I see.
So, you know, it was you had to train for that, and you had to train seriously. You couldn't just go on. You couldn't just walk on and do these events because you would die.
Right.
You couldn't do it. You can see there. I'm wearing a hydration pack. You know, my legs are covered. Yeah, you get banged up.
Right.
But once my last year was 2019, because 2020 COVID came along, stopped everything. And I didn't train. I stopped training, and that was it. I didn't go back. So I got 8 years of it. It was pretty cool. I hated every one of them. I hated every step.
Number across the forehead to IDs of medical emergency.
Is that pay no attention to that man behind the curtain, Raniolo?
Okay.
that was just part of the badassness. You know, you take a market out. That was just your number. You had a bib number. So you'd have marker stations. You'd write it on your chest. Sure. You'd write it on your head. Yeah, it was.
Is this something that you would consider kind of getting back into?
I should. I don't train as hard. I haven't trained much lately. If you look behind me, you can see there's like a whole pretty intense gym. There's a rig behind me. You can see some weights. See, these are rings. I got a dip bar. There's a weight vest here. You know, there's a rigs to do pull-ups. And there's a bench over here. There's a whole rack. There's all kinds of weights behind me and stuff. So I could train here. But at the time, I was living up north. I was living in Hawthorne. And Hawthorne was right in the edge of mountains, so I could climb mountains. And that's what a lot of these Spartan races were, was climbing and climbing and climbing. And if you can't train on hills to try to go back and do that without hill training, your legs would cramp up. Your calves, you just couldn't make it. So I live in the flatlands. I live in a beautiful place now, like coastal southern New Jersey, right in the water. But it's flat. There are no hills to train on. But it was
you have to duplicate the elements, right?
Yeah, just what you said. The New York Marathon was today. You know, if you don't train for a marathon, what? If you can't run 30 miles, you're not going to be able to do the 26. You got to do more than you have to do on race day, and I just can't do that anymore. But it was cool.
The New York Marathon is always a very melancholy day for me here, having been, born and raised here in New York City. I remember when as a kid, you know, as young kids, we'd go check it out, and it was very small in the beginning when Fred LeBeau started it. I think initially it just ran in Central Park, and now, of course, it's like a major sporting event, and there's a lot of disconnect there. But for many years, you know, there was that Sunday where we'd go and cheer people on, and it was very cool. You know.
Cool.
That said, let me take a quick sponsor break this time. Like a quick one. We'll bang it out, and then we'll come back and we'll take some questions from around the world, okay?
I'll wait here.
All right. There you have it. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today, Alex Kinon from Cause for Alarm and Agnostic Front. We are sponsored by blah, 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 and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rowley, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. Information on online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, www.texassilverrush.com. Also, Mad Vintage buys, sells, and collects band shirts, primarily hardcore. The DIY operation was started and is operated by a hardcore kid who just loves collecting and eventually got into vintage clothing, specifically the realm of vintage band shirts. They are always looking to buy out collections to either keep, sell, or trade. New shirts added daily at www.madvintage.com and post on Instagram. Dig deep into that closet of crap and reach out to them. Help me help you. Hey, I am going to run the promos. I want everybody to post any questions they have for our guest. And when we come back, we will get right to it. Boom. Come on. Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, we offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections of music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Will that be cash or debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfied customer.
Yo, what's happening? I'm out here at one of our all-ages Sunday matinees on the Bowery. I hope that you are enjoying today's show. I just want to let you know that the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live needs your support. Please step up. There is a Patreon page that has a lot of unique program. Shows are announced there first. Lots of good stuff. There's a PayPal address right there on the screen if you want to make a contribution. There's also a super chat in that, but the bottom line is this show exists because of your support. We're going to be doing it for a long, long time. Thank you for all your support through the years. Back to the show.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking...
And we're back. Hey, any questions you have? You may have a question for our guest, Alex Kinon from Cause for Alarm and Agnostic Front. Post your questions now. Don't be shy. Let them fly. Go deep. Get weird. I want to mention some events coming up. Like I said, there is no show a week from today because we are down in the Lower East Side doing one of our free all ages Sunday matinees. This one is at Berlin with Kings Never Die, 45 Adapters, Tree, Redwoods, and Neck Scars. Hey, shouting out on Friday, November 15th, up in Providence, Rhode Island, just playing with a couple bands, Clockwork Productions, Rhode Island Corps present. Hey, I know this is incredible. I can't even wrap my head around it, but Incendiary Device, it's going to jump off tonight. We're playing up at Cherry Street Station in Connecticut. We're actually playing outside of New York. That's Saturday, November 16th. Come on up. Lori Dawn's art show is November 17th out in Huntington, Long Island. Hey, you heard? Big event going down at Bridge 9 Records. It is the Vinny Stigma and Roger Moret book event that I am moderating on Saturday, September 7th. There is a special live performance, RSVP only, at bridge9.com. The link is going up soon. The very next day, we will be back at Generation Records where I will be moderating the Roger Moret book event. That's Sunday, December 8th. Yo, ID is playing for the holidays, a free show in Brooklyn. It's 21 and plus at Our Wicked Lady with Ancient Domains featuring members of Bold and Supertouch, End of Hope featuring Davey Gunner from Kraut and Ill Rays. And then, of course, the Holiday Slamboree is Sunday, December 22nd. Free all ages Sunday matinee at our home with the Bowery Electric. Non-residents, we're doing the My War thing with special guest vocalists. Fire is Moida, Shoot the Five, and Seal Poets. This just announced, big banger, big banger. All ages, free Sunday matinee at the Bowery Electric, 1 block from CBGB, Sunday, January 19th. This is a co-promotion with Authentic Productions NYC. Noise is coming from the West Coast. ID, American Eagle Reunion, Brass Knuckle Brigade, and Tear Gas. That's Sunday, January 19th. Big banger. Also, just want to mention that the Women of the Pit Holiday Slamboree is a coat drive. So please gather up your women's coats, bring it down to the event for a good cause. That said, let's bring our guest back on. Let's do some questions. Let's see what we got. Hey, man. Sorry, that was a little longer than I thought it was going to be.
It's okay.
So, let's see. Oh, Joseph asks, are there any recordings of Billy Milano fronting CFA?
No, I don't think that'll ever happen. I don't talk to Billy very often. I saw Billy at the movie at your movie.
Oh, my premiere?
Yeah, that was the first time I'd seen Billy in decades.
Yeah. Pete Galvany says, hey, Alex, thanks for teaching me to play bass in the...
Absolutely. That's my brother, Pete. Known him since like elementary school. You
guys are still friends?
Absolutely. He's out in Chico, California now. But absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I know where Chico is. I'm looking for the Radicals photo again. Here he goes. Is that Chico? Is that him playing the Rickenbacker bass in this shot?
That's him. That's Pete Galvani.
Come on, Pete. This is your big moment to shine, bro. There he is. Rocking the... Wow. That looks like a crazy Rickenbacker. Yeah.
He probably still has that.
Right.
See, he's got some electrical tape on it. He's got that white strap.
Yeah. Right on. A little technical question here. What fuzz distortion did you use on the CFA EP? MXR distortion, Boss Heavy Metal, any recollections? Really cool present tone.
Yeah, it was probably MXR. I had an MXR distortion box in the old days, which got stolen. But if I had the distortion box, yeah, it was probably MXR. Absolutely.
Yeah, here you go. He's talking about the 7-inch. Of
course.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I didn't have a lot of fancy gear. I was just like,
played with
whatever I had. It just made it work. the best I could.
And that MXR box was sort of a go-to for a lot of the New York hardcore guys.
Yeah, back then. But it got stolen. Yeah. A bunch of my other stuff.
Congrats to you and Connor and Jennifer.
Yeah. Rob Raniolo, another one of my old good friends.
Oh, not a question, just a statement. Alex is the coolest future father-in-law around. Aww.
You gotta love her. You gotta love the Jen. You gotta love
nice.
Jen.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is your son getting married?
Yeah, just asked Jen, I don't know, a month ago or so.
Fantastic.
And times are changing. Time passes. It's the way of things.
Yeah.
I sort of hear like a song from Fiddler on the Roof, but we won't go there. But
I'd be sort of amiss not to ask this because this has come up a couple times. Will we see CFA appear again some mysterious day?
Nothing is impossible, but nothing is impossible. Yes! But what lineup would it be? You probably want it to be like the original OG lineup.
Okay, well now since I'm managing you guys, it would be you, Kabula, Keith, and I don't know if Robert. I don't think Robert's even playing these days. We bring in like a real solid kind of journeyman professional guy that can really hold it down. That's what we do.
So I'm in New Jersey, even though it's Southern New Jersey. I'm in Jersey. I think Rob Kabul is still in New Jersey.
That's right.
Keith, I think, is in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bit of a
okay.
challenge.
So the way we would remedy this situation, similar to the Agnostic Front thing, where you guys would rehearse, and I'd even come in and do the vocals, scratch vocals, just for rehearsal purposes, until we get Keith up here. So there you go. We sorted it out. Oh, there you go.
All right, let me book some studio time. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, no, we don't need to book anything. We'll get Kabul. We can play in Kabula's where they do Deblo Hammer, where he rehearses with his other band. We'll just do it there in Clifton.
Yeah. All right, then book the date then. Yeah.
There you go. All right. More shall be revealed. Oh, wow. Look who showed up. Billy Psycho.
Wow, Billy Psycho. Good to see you, my good brother. And he was a drummer, Skinhead Youth. Yep, he was.
That's right.
I have pictures. I have pictures somewhere of like Skinhead Youth rehearsals.
Yeah.
I know I do.
Got it. Yeah. Yep.
That's great.
Who are you asking about the artwork? We went through the artwork on the CFA artwork was Uncle Al, right? This isn't that. This is something different. I think Laura's asking who did that artwork. I think the cover. She's talking about the cover.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, the cover of the single, that was Uncle Al, but like the backdrop.
Yeah.
The original backdrop and like the crumbling Statue of Liberty. That was Mike Spatz. I don't know.
Oh.
Laura knows his last name, but
sure.
She's told me a dozen times, but I haven't committed it to long-term memory.
There you go.
And that's great. I still have that original. I still have that Close Alarm backdrop.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, Brian directed me to like the Punk Rock Hall of Fame to put it there.
The Punk Rock Museum. Yeah.
Punk Rock Museum. Yeah. And I've never seen that picture before.
No,
that's a riot. I don't know where you got that.
And and look with the cigarette.
Yeah, I'm not really a cigarette smoker. I don't think I was then either. I must have just been doing something stupid for the picture.
You have a cigarette in like a couple of pictures, and I was from this roll, and I'm like, I never remember this guy smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, I did a little bit, but I quit back then. It's weird.
Yeah,
or maybe not. I forgot where I was going. I didn't. The Punk Rock Museum. But once I told them about putting stuff there, I got a weird vibe. I just didn't. The vibe is just kind of weird.
You know what? I hear you. I talked to them too, and sort of tapped out.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, Laura Zyland says he did the fanzine Spats.
Yeah, Mike Spats. He did my leather jacket. He did
and he drew the tattoo on
Rod.
He drew the tattoo on Roger's chest.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yep. Yep. That said. Let's see what else we got here. You spoken to Tony Scaglione lately? You ever speak to him?
I have not. We were really good friends. You know, Tony was in Whiplash. He was in Slayer for a while.
Yeah.
He's played with lots of bands. And I even brought him into Cause Alarm for a while too, I think. Yeah. Like he was on he's on that split album with Warzone.
I tell you, I love that recording. It smokes, man. His drumming smokes on that record.
Yeah, he's really good. He's tight. He's good.
He smokes on. Yeah. Hey, James Batista. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I just haven't talked to Tony in a long time.
Yeah. James Batista, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. If you have a question, post it up. What was Alex's perception of the shift towards crossover in the mid 80s as it was happening?
There was. Okay, so if you're asking me now for something that happened 40 years ago, my memory is kind of sketchy. But what I would say is I didn't think of anything. We were just doing what we were doing. Sure. Nothing. We weren't really influenced. I don't remember being influenced by anything else. We were just whatever music came out of us. It's just what we did. What other bands were doing wasn't that important to me. And that was it. What other people were doing didn't really matter to me, unless they were our friends and we liked them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Alex, what if any musical listening preferences do you have these days?
I saw someone asked earlier, like, what do I listen to when I work out? Yeah, usually like Tool. I just love Tool. I think it's great. I think they're great. Or I'll listen to like the very first Manowar album, which I think is great. I just love it. Led Zeppelin anytime. Black Sabbath anytime. That's what I listen to. Or I can listen to the Beatles channel too. You know, I grew up hearing the Beatles, but it wasn't until like I was traveling to a Spartan race in West Virginia. I put on the Beatles channel, and all of a sudden I heard it. For the first time, I heard it. And the Beatles were amazing. The compositions, the harmonies, the music, amazing. So I can listen to that. I can listen to it over and over and hear different things and just try to listen to the different parts with each time I listen to the different songs. Really good.
Yeah, the Beatles are the gift that keeps giving, man.
It's really true.
Yeah, it's really incredible. Yeah, I find that, you know, there's acts like that, Jimi Hendrix being one of them.
Hendrix too.
That I could Led Zeppelin that I revisit every couple years, and like I said, it's the gift that keeps giving. I've each sort of, you know, decade when I go a deep dive, I find incredible things about these artists. You know,
absolutely. Zeppelin, Hendrix, Beatles, absolutely.
Yep. Manowar at Sundance in '89 was the loudest show I ever saw to this day. Yeah, they were loud. Loud. I saw Motorhead once. They were really loud. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I saw Manowar and Motorhead the same show.
Oh, wow.
At the Ritz.
Wow. Yeah. All right, cool. I mean, I sort of know the answer to this, but, you know, do you have any new hardcore bands come across your radar screen, or is it anything that interests you? Like, you ever hear, like, you know, any hardcore?
Nope.
Good, honest answer. Thank you.
That's,
you know, yeah. And you know what's interesting is that what you and I, first wave American hardcore guys, consider hardcore. There's hardcore bands out there that they say we're a hardcore band, and I'm just flummoxed. I'm like, you know, that's hardcore. You know, so the sort of what was once a sort of narrow gauge of like, this is hardcore, now is pretty wide open, you know? Interesting stuff. But that said, fantastic show. Thank
Good
you.
times.
Yeah, it was great, and I really appreciate it. I'm excited about my new mission to get the Cause for Alarm reunion show together. And anybody you want to thank or shout out or
thanks to you for caring, for putting on shows, for doing these live interviews. You're like another Brian. Someone who cares, someone who's, you've been there a long time since the beginning, and that's really important. I thank you for that. Thank my family, wife, kid, son, Rob Raniolo, Pete Galvani, Laura Zeitlin, Keith for checking in.
Yeah.
We throw Billy Psycho in there too. Yeah. Everybody.
It's great.
That's my thanks. Thanks to everybody.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Here. Thanks for caring.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Let's keep in touch. I'll talk to you soon.
We'll be in touch.
Okay. Take care.
So long.
There you have it. Alex Kinon, Cause for Alarm, Agnostic Front. Fantastic show. Is that right, Heggs? I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a great guest. Listen, these kind of shows, this is in our strike zone. A guy like Alex Kinon, Roger Moret, Vinny Stigma, Ian Mackay. I'm at the plate and I fastball. I see it. It's a fastball coming in, I'm going yard with it. Right. This is what we do. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by Shouting Out, New York Hardcore Comics, the Texas Silver Rush, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, and Mad Vintage. I want to remind everybody that there is not, and will not be a show a week from today because we are down at Berlin doing our free all ages Sunday matinee at Berlin 1 week from today, but we will be back. We will be back a week from Wednesday with the new music show with Mark of Shutdown, who are celebrating the release of their new record By Your Side, and Sab Gray, formerly of Iron Cross, currently of Starcar, celebrating the release of their kaleidoscopes of their new record. So that said, thank you, Chris. It was a great, I can't find where I got this. I'd love to buy another one. So if you find who makes them, I think it's actually like a custom thing. Angela and William, New York, made this thing. I think it was like it's not a mass produced thing. So that said, gem of a show. Thank you. Yep. How about Phil Rind of Sacred Reich? Sure. Listen, there's room on the boat for everybody on the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Eventually, we're going to interview everybody. Your Slap Happy Grandpappy and everybody. Sooner or later, they all march through this show. 300. We're nearing 350 episodes. And you know what? Speaking of 350th episode, I got to read this. And it's a kind of a thick book. I mean, usually it's like, okay, I got it. But this got some oomph to it. I got to read Thurston Moore's book because he's coming on the show as 350th guest. Oh, there you go. Thanks for giving a plug to Setlist Comics Anthology Drew. I wrote a story called Broken Beats. Once again, shouting out Setlist Comics, Nick Friesian. Thank you for sending it to me. I really appreciate it. Also, Vinny C of Ironclad sent me this great, incredible grab bag of graffiti artists and of stickers and a lot of great stuff in there. If you want to send something and you want to shout out on the show, feel free, send me a message, send it. If you have a band, I'll wear the shirt on the show and shout you out, as long as your band doesn't suck. Actually, as a matter of fact, even if your band sucks, chances are, I'll wear your shirt. So there you go. James, you look forward to Lou Colla's full recovery. You know what? Funny you should bring that up. I was thinking of reaching out to Lou and saying, hey, we're here, bro. So that's going to happen pretty soon. I got to reach out to Lou Colla. We love that guy. And Greg Hedson's been on the show. Where you been? Look it up on YouTube, bro. Greg Hedson's. We already went around the merry-go-round with Greg Hedson, but good suggestion. Biohazard has a new album stated for 2025. That would be a cool show. Yes, it would. Another movie show. Yeah, let's do another movie show. You know would be a good, would be a good one? Because we did Jaws with Charlie from Anthrax, and we did The Godfather and Scorsese. Maybe how about like we did a horror. I was thinking maybe we should do like an Aliens franchise, because I'm about to watch Alien. Was it Aliens Romulus? Maybe we should do an Aliens thing. Funny you should bring that up. There you go, Lori Dawn. An alien, yeah. Godzilla. Nah, I'm over Godzilla. It would be Aliens. Yo, fuck Godzilla. That lizard ass motherfucker. Yeah, we'll do Aliens. I gotta watch. Anybody see Alien Romulus? Looks pretty good. Looks really gory. You know what the problem is around here with my significant other? Every time we watch something, like before we go to bed, it's like gory. We watch something zombie or like some horrific thing, like right before we go to bed, and it's like, it's not what you should be watching before you go to bed. Like people getting Stanley Kubrick. Good one, Frankie Too Far. Good one. I like where you're going with this. So anyway, all good. I want to thank. Do you want to rock the RBNX Xenomorph T? Hey, send it through. And anybody else out there that has a crappy band, feel free to send it through. From GB, right? He's a toy collector. I did not know that. Okay. Hey, Larry, I got news for you. I know you're driving and listening. You just pulled over. The show's about to end. That said, thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you hopefully at the matinee in a week. 1 week from today. And we'll do an Aliens thing. The question is, who will we do the Aliens thing with? We need somebody like who's like a great horror, who's like a real authority on the Alien franchise. Listen, a Josh Silver interview would be a miracle. And I have tried. Lord knows I have tried. If anybody out there talks to Josh, please put in a good word. I have tried, and he has politely declined. That said, once again, thank you all very much. We'll see you soon. Tell your loved ones that you love them. That's very important in this short life that we lead. Until then, do good things and good things will come to you.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation,